Well, hello everyone. It's Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Season 2, Episode 7 of Craps Chat, and we're going to get it underway in just a little bit. We're going to start out with a little bit from Friday night. I have a surprise for the two guests that are in the green room right now, and I'll show that in just 1 second. But let me go ahead and bring in my sidekick, Dylan. How are you doing, my friend? Good evening to you.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Want to get the show started here in just a few minutes, but I want to say welcome. And are you ready for this season 2,
Oh,
episode
yes.
7? It's just incredible. You've already been talking to Chris from Dice Degen, and then of course I just brought somebody else in that. Initially said he couldn't show, then he was going to show. And then I got my two good friends, Alfredo and Craig, over in OBC for OBC, Old Bay Craps, over in the Zoom room. They're there. I haven't tested their audio yet, so I'm kind of hoping that that's going to work when we switch over to it. But Dylan, are you ready to get this episode 7, just unbelievable season 2 started?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it. Give me 1 second. It always fails that Jeff does something silly when he pushes the wrong buttons. I tell you, it's been one of those days. Look who's on the screen there with us, Dylan and Chris. I said that he wasn't going to make it, but lo and behold, he went to a Mariners game this afternoon. John, I have no idea what the score was, but hopefully, you had a good game. You had a good time. Cool, good. I know that. We had talked earlier today. You didn't know whether or not you were going to be able to make it back from the game, and lo and behold, you got there, and Chris was going to step in. But I'm kind of glad Chris did step in, because the first thing we're going to talk about is Friday Night Fights. But let me welcome you all to the show tonight. As you know, let's see, is it that way? I did it right for once. I'm actually sitting today, guys. I'm in a studio. Kind of looks the same for me, but I'm actually sitting tonight. Chris and John both know what I've been doing in my studio and some of the stuff, gadgets and toys and stuff that I put up in here, and trying to get this show working today. When I switch cameras around using a 4K camera on me, it's kind of been one of those days. But Dylan, over there, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine, Today is my daughter's birthday. It's her 16th.
Oh, cool.
Well, happy birthday to her.
I spent some time with her. Today.
Good. And down below me, there is Chris from Dice Degen. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Jeff. Doing great. Shout out to everybody who's double fisting like I am. Water in one, another kind of water in the other one. And it's going to be a good night.
I actually haven't even looked at the chats in the last couple of minutes. I know there were some people here I need to put up here, because Ed was the first one here, and he wanted to know, hey, can I be first for a change? And of course he spelled change wrong, but he corrected it. He corrected it after that. And then Duracell wanted to know an hour earlier. Duracell said, hey, can we start this thing early? And John hadn't made it home yet, so I brought you in to take. To help us moderate the show and talk about things. But John, you made it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I just came back from. We went to the Mariners game. My wife last night. We were watching the game last night, and the promotion today was a wine tumbler, right? So one of our favorite players is Gino Suarez from the Mariners, and they have a wine tumbler that says it was a Gino Grigio was the name of the wine. My wife's like, I have to have one of those. So we went and bought tickets at like midnight last night and just got up in the morning and drove down there. $76 plastic wine tumbler was the whole point of it. But we had a good time. They won. It was cool.
Yeah. Well, I went to the movies yesterday, and between movies and a dinner, it was $110. So
I'm telling you, you can't leave your house. You can't leave your house anymore for less than $100, right? Seriously.
No.
I won't tell you what I opted to spend this weekend potentially.
Well, I think I
know what I was doing.
You may have put a bid or two in on a house. Is that what I heard a little while ago, Chris?
Two bids.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
good luck to
Good
you,
luck,
and
man.
I hope
Thank
you and
you.
Victoria are victorious with that house.
I, I
House
like what
hunting
you
is
did there.
bad. Yeah. So I know you over on your sports channel there, Chris, in the CGTV Discord. You were talking about a little bit of horse racing in there. What did you think of Saturday at the Kentucky Derby?
It was a good race. I'm kicking myself. I put in Discord that I was going to go to the stable and have a horse kick me as well. Because I said I liked Mage and it was a horse to watch. And then I was watching it in the morning and I didn't like how it looked. And now I'm regretting it. But it was a good race. Always love watching the horse races and stuff. So it was a good race, and looking forward to the next two of the Triple Crown, the Belmont and the Preakness. So
Well, of course, the Preakness is right in our back door, so it's pretty exciting for the people around this area. I did. The reason why I brought that up was only because I wanted to rub it in that you did say that was worth a look in Discord on the sports bet side of that, and I
yep.
guess you didn't put any money on it. So before I bring in I got two guests over on the Zoom side. I got Craig from Old Bay Craps, and I got Alfredo from Texas Crap Shooters. Anybody else that would like to join it, it's in the description below. I also pinned it in the. I didn't pin it. I'll pin it in the chat when we do this first video. But I want to talk about this, John. I know you were absent Friday night during the Friday night fights between
Yep.
Buckeye and Corey Sith the Lord. Did you go back and watch any of that at all?
I haven't watched it yet. No, I got late night Friday night, and we watched the games last night, and we have some echo.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little echo from one of you. I'm going to try to figure out which one it is. Um, let me see which one it is. It's one of the two of them. Let's see if it's Chris. Yeah, it could be Chris. I'm getting just a little bit of echo. I don't know if Chris, if you have something on in the background there. So I'm going to mute you
I'm gonna go get headphones.
just 1 second, Chris. Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just mute you just 1 second. So anyway, John,
No.
it was an excellent match, and I'm actually going
I missed
to
it.
start.
I missed
I'm
it.
going to start
and I
this
wrote to
video
Chris.
with.
Yeah, I want to see it because I wrote to Chris. I'm like, how'd it go? He's like, it went fine. I'm like, who won? He goes, SB. I'm like, okay. And that was all I got from him. Like, he gave me no information, so I figured it was just a okay match. But you're going to show some highlights. Let's see.
Well,
let's see how
I'm
it
only
went
going to show the end of round one when it came down
Okay.
to it. You're going to be surprised at the difference in the chips, although it takes Chris a few minutes after I ended the video clip to run it. But it actually wound up being, at the end, it was the match was actually lost on round, let's see, it was either roll 4 or 5 of round 3. So they actually got to a round 3 this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the footage. You know how they do? Roll that beautiful bean footage, and then we'll be right back with this, and we'll talk about this. But pay attention to the chips, John. At the end of this is round 1, and we're not going to show any more. It's 2.5 minutes long, guys. Please indulge us.
All right. So this would come here, but it would come down anyway. This would come here. It would come down anyway. There you go. Buckeye, you got 75. Is going to pay you 150. Corey, you got 75. Is going to pay you 150. All right. Shall we clean this up? Buckeye, yours is coming down first. All right. Corey, yours is coming down now. All right, let's get a count here. Shall we? Buckeye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, Buckeye, you have exactly 500, 1,000, 1,100, 50, 1,150.
All right.
Finally made it through an entire first round.
Oops, sorry, guys.
All right, Buckeye, 1150. I'm gonna put yours over to the side here, and bring your next round
Jeez.
rack in. All right, Corey. Oh wow, this is gonna be close.
He's gonna win it.
Those nickels right there.
All right, you got 5, 10, 11, 25, 30, 11, 33. That's $17.
Wow, that is just super incredible that was $17 off. That was just probably the closest match, John. You weren't there. Who you probably keep track of most of this stuff. It was just
I
an
do, yeah.
incredible match, and went on to round 2 for Sith to come back and take round 2, and then Chris, was it roll 4 or 5 in the third round that Buckeye kind of missed it. Did I mute Chris?
Yeah, Chris is a mess right now. What's going on there?
Yeah, Chris, I can't hear you. You might want to reconnect and connect. So anyway, Dylan, were you there when we were watching that show on Friday night? Were you in the audience?
No, unfortunately, I was not.
Let me text Chris and tell him to disconnect and reconnect because he has no audio. Maybe he'll hear me. There he is. Chris, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, but it's like I don't know what happened to the microphone. But Chris, we were talking about the Friday night fights there, and you were dealing, and the actual rounds were close, and then going into 6 rounds or 6 rolls in round 3. It was like roll 4 or 5 that the Buckeye had kind of the rolls didn't go his way, and then of course Corey Sith puts out Espy puts out a big bet that I kind of thought he had overcalculated it, but he had the calculation right that he was going to win either way. But he didn't take it just lying down and just put a minimum bet out there. He actually still continued to play. But that was one heck of a match, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was a great match. I think Buckeye went he went pretty big on a come out roll there, and I hadn't rolled a come out 7 until that point. And then I finally rolled one, and yeah, I think that's what cost them. But it was a great battle. That first round was insane. The second round was pretty close too. I think they said afterwards they were separated by like $40 going into the third round. And then
Wow.
Sith Lord said after the second or third roll, they were exactly tied between what was in the racks and what was out there. So it was pretty crazy.
No, it was. And I just want to encourage everybody that the match that was there and the comments that we were seeing during the chat, I was boxing. And as a box person, the box person is supposed to be quiet, not do any commentary during the show, except in case you make a mistake unless you ask something. But I'm telling you, I mean, it was an incredible match. And then when we were in round 3 and Sith put out this big bet, I actually had my mic on. I thought I had it muted. And I said, what the heck's he doing? And I don't know if anybody heard that or not, but that's actually on the video. Awesome. And I didn't mean to do that because the box person, when somebody comes in, if you ever get a chance to box for Friday night fights, their job is only to make sure that the bets are being placed right and they're calculated right. Because as you know, Chris and John, it is really something to deal one of those. It's even worse if you have to do it by yourself. But anyway, John, what did you think of that close match? Would that be the closest at the end of round 1?
At the end of round 1, for sure. I think we had a match that was within $5 on one of the rounds later, a few months back. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
But it was a round 2 one. I think I forget who it was. But yeah, there was one that when they're close like that, you're like sweating because I'm like, did we make a mistake earlier? Like, you know how we screw up deals up all the time, you know? It's like you feel terrible if it's that close and you might have made an earlier mistake. But that's fun when it's that close. It's especially for Buckeye, who had a couple of bad outings earlier. Yeah. And for him to get into round 3 is huge. Yeah.
Yep, he really did. So with that said, I want to spend just a few minutes to encourage people to come over to CGTV, join the Discord, because that's where you have to sign up in order to get in there. I don't even know who the next person is That's up. I didn't even have an opportunity to look. I was so fascinated with the match. Typically, I bump over there and take a look at it, but I didn't do that.
Let me go
But,
find out,
you've got a
actually.
few people coming up, but we would like to see everybody come over, join the CGD TV Discord. That's how you sign up. And then go to Casino Gaming TV. There you've actually got now a schedule on there of several channels that are going live and a few other things with some good things to come. Maybe we'll get into
It's
that in a little
Galenar,
bit
by the
more.
way. It's
Let's see
Galenar is
that.
the next one up.
Is it? It's Glenn?
Galenar?
Good.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, it's Glenn. Yeah. He's a good guy. He's been the king once, didn't he?
Yeah. He has been.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I'm encouraging other people to come over and join in and come and play. It's fun. It's an hour and 30 minutes worth of fun because it takes that long to roll out 36 rolls for two people and so forth. But it is what it is. So let's move on with the show. We've been at it almost 20 minutes now, counting the intro. And I got Craig from Old Bay Craps on there. Before I bring Craig and Alfredo in there, I just want to encourage anybody, if you'd like to join the show, it's in the description below. Hit the Zoom link. If you're coming into Zoom and you have something that just says like iPhone, I got to see a name, guys. I can't let you in. If you can't rename yourself in there, you got to put in there something that I will recognize and I will let you in. If I don't know you and you've never talked to me before, send me an email at jeff@midatlanticcraps.com and tell me who you are, and I'll admit you in there, because we get some crazy people on here that want to show all kinds of things that's not conducive for this show, we should say. So, Craig, I see you're laughing there. I need to make sure the audio is on. You guys jumped in a little too late for me to test the audio with you, but go ahead and say something, Craig.
Something.
Hey, there you go. We can hear you. Good. Alfredo, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going? I'm almost home. I'm right around the corner, actually. I was just, that's why I'm not on camera.
I saw you when
I don't want you guys seeing me drive.
Oh, no. It was bad one night. Dylan was driving his truck and he was talking to us one night. But we've had that happen plenty of times. So, Craig, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Sure, no problem. I need to get rid of this this other part over here. Yep. So once again, I'm going to tell people, if you want to join, any of the viewers want to join, I got to know who you are, and if I don't know who you are, then please send me a email at jeff@midatlanticcraps.com. I'll take a look and decide to let you in. Anybody that we know, I guess there's probably in our unique group, there's about 200 people that are almost regulars per week, but we have a good group of 80 to about 150 that participate in all of our shows, including yours and Alfredo's and here on CGTV. So we have a good time. So guys, if you have a question tonight, it's open forum night tonight. There's no guest plan. Put a capital Q. Or if it's directed to somebody that's going to be in here, whether it be John, Chris, Dylan, Craig, or Alfredo, put an @ sign with their initials or something so that it draws my attention, and I'll queue up some questions. So, Craig, you were in the chat Friday night for the Friday night fights, were you not?
I think I jumped on just to say hi. I was actually not home.
Oh, okay. Well, damn.
I was at a poker game.
Oh, a poker game. Okay. Yeah, no problem with that. I'm looking at the chat here coming here, and it looks like I don't have any questions yet. It was questions for people in the chat, but nothing specifically here. So, guys, let's get this thing started. Somebody asked a good craps question. If you see me looking up occasionally like this, it's because there's a big monitor in front of me. I've got to look up occasionally to see what's going on, but everything else is right here in front of me today. I'm actually sitting down for this, Craig. Can you believe this? This is the first Craps Chat that I've sat down in the new studio. So what's behind me, if it falls down, you're going to see my back wall, but in the meantime, you'll see that green screen.
I just want to make sure you're not talking to angels yet.
No, I'm not talking to angels yet. Who was I talking about earlier this week? I was telling somebody I'm going to be late to my own funeral. So I'm always late, so you don't think you have that to worry about. Although there's one song about talking to angels that's a pretty good song that's out there. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure what Victor means by this. Once bitten, twice shy. There's another song we could talk about, but this is about music.
Great White.
I'm sorry, what was that, John? Yeah, Great White, yeah.
That was Craig. He said, yeah, Great White.
Oh, Great White, yeah. The movie guy and the music guy. I mean, you get them all here. John, you're in music too. I even see somebody ask you in your Discord today or yesterday, are you still playing the bass? They want to see you pick up that bass in that background there and bump out something. Oh, Craig does.
One of these days I'll do it, yeah. I have no amplification here though, right? You just see me playing, you couldn't hear it anyway,
right.
So.
Yeah, I just saw a question
Hey,
come in. I'm scrolling back.
hey, Jeff.
Yes, go ahead.
Jeff, just give me 1 minute. I'll reconnect. I'm home.
Okay, no problem. No problem, Alfredo. Skill, did you say something or was that Alfredo?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention. I just want to do a quick rewind and remind everyone that that we're able to do super chats as well, and that the super chats will get ahead of any of the normal queues. So if you put in a super chat, we'll immediately, read it out and everything. So I just want to bring it to. I just wanted to have that friendly reminder that super chats do rule.
That is if the producer here can catch on to that. But nope, that's a good point to put out. I just saw a couple questions.
Yep.
Going back through the questions, the chats are coming in so fast. I'm looking for the ats and the PCs. Now they're talking about baseball. So in any event, somebody beside me, while I'm looking up some things here, let's talk about a few things going on in the craps world. You saw Duracell put us up there that we're at 37 viewers. Currently, we have 44 and 17 likes. Guys, it helps if you hit the like button on the way out, but that's not why we're here to talk about. I personally haven't played craps at a casino now in a while, and I'm looking forward towards the end of the month. I have 3 back-to-back trips, 2 Atlantic City day trips, an overnight and a day trip, and then, of course, I'm going down to Biloxi on June 10th. 9th and 10th with Ed for his Brownwater bash. But somebody talk to me about craps. Somebody on the chat here. I'm still looking for questions, guys.
Let's talk about Chris's table.
Okay, Chris.
And Jeff's table
we
while
can
we're
talk
at it,
about
right?
Yeah, let's just talk about getting tables now.
Well, Chris, you and I talked about this table that I got, and from getting the table to getting here was one thing. But I think that you got the better of the 2 tables, my friend. That thing just looked awesome. I'm looking forward to to seeing you use it, and I want to see that new layout that you're going to put on it. I think you're going to put that new smaller layout. It's going to be a bigger layout on your table.
Yeah, so I ordered the blue one that I put in the video. That one I ordered prior to buying the full size table. So that layout's a 6-foot layout for where I record my videos now. And then I will be getting a similar layout for the big table. So I'm looking forward to that. I gotta get to designing and stuff and work on what kind of surface I want underneath the table. Because right now it's pretty hard, but yeah. I think we both have pretty interesting stories how we got the tables. The travel was certainly a fun time.
I haven't even gotten to my Vegas and AC trip because of what I've been doing in here in the studios. You guys got not Craig, but John and Chris. You guys got to look at some pictures I sent you a little while ago. I'm going to let somebody in the room here, guys, and I'm going to switch off this screen just 1 second while they come in. Oh, it is him. Hi, look, it's the real Ed from Road to Win. All right, but my table, Chris, has just been so busy that I just haven't been able to do any videos or anything else other than work on this, and it's just been one of those times. So real quick, before I introduce Ed from Roll to Win, guys, if you have a question for any of the panel, it's put a capital Q and or their initials, and I'll try to pick up on it as we go through this tonight's show. So Ed, welcome. I'm going to try to put the link there to join it. So let's see here. Go back over here. So anyway, Chris, your table. You went on a journey. You put out a video already on it. I thought the video was very well produced.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was a journey. Me and girlfriend Dejan hopped in a U-Haul. I have never driven anything bigger than like a pickup truck before. So 17-foot U-Haul. So that was interesting. The first thing I did when I got in, I was backing up. I looked for the rear view. There isn't one. I was like, oh, I gotta look at my side mirrors. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good time. But yeah, it was good. It was about a 2-hour drive up to get the table. Pull in, and girlfriend Dejan looks at me and goes, I think we're about to get murdered. And I was like,
oh my,
yeah, you might be right here. So I pull up. And you can't see, we're in like the middle of the woods. You can't see anything. Gate just opens up. I'm on the phone with the lady who I'm pulling into her house. Gate just opens up out of nowhere. And I'm driving on this road for like a mile. And it's her driveway. And I come around the bend, and then I see this mansion on the top of the hill. and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is the perfect like movie scene here, just to, two people come out here and they just get whacked when they come out here, and you never hear from them again. You'll never find them. But yeah, lady was super nice. It was 18,000 square foot house on the hill on a 20-acre property. It was absolutely massive. But yeah, got the table. It doesn't come apart like I thought it did. The rails are all one solid piece. They don't come apart. So that was interesting, but put it in the U-Haul, drove it back home. Me and my dad were unloading it at like midnight almost. But I love it. It's been great. There's a couple of questions I saw. I think Jeremy asked who built the table. It's a John Huxley table. So Jeremy, there's your answer there. And, not table related, but Joe asked when the tournament's continuing. It's continuing. I put it in Discord, or I put it in somewhere, but I had to take a trip for work and then an unexpected second work trip after that. So I've been kind of out and about, but it will be coming again. I know two of my contestants are on the screen now, so I have to get with John and with Craig to film that battle matchup, and we'll get it going.
Yeah, well. My table is set up. You guys saw the picture of it. I hung some equipment over top of it. I put this table that I'm currently using, which is a hydraulic table that you can sit and stand, so I can produce my shows very similar to what I did in the past. Tonight I'm actually sitting for the first time in a while, first time on Craps Chat. But it's nice to be here, and I had to rearrange a couple things because this camera that I'm actually looking at is actually a 4K camera, and it's one I'm testing that I don't know that I'm very, very pleased with it, but it's going to work. Hey, Brian from Hawaii Crap Shitters, and I haven't even said hello to everybody that's here. We've got 48 people watching, and it's incredible to see the people that are here with us and joining us. But we're looking for some questions. Let's talk about crafts beside my table and Chris's table. We've got Ed from Roll to Win in here. I did mention his Brownwater Bash coming up, and Alfredo's finally popped in from his crap studio, which I believe, Alfredo, I think you told me once you walk in the door, boom, your craps table is really your sofa, if you will. I'm only kidding. I'm being sarcastic, but it's always nice to walk in their mind. You have to walk all the way to the back of the table. Welcome to both of you.
Nice and air conditioning, but when it gets humid, you still need to run some sort of fan or something.
Yeah, my house is the same way. It's cool and rainy now on the East Coast. Ed, say something to us.
How you doing there, Jeff?
Well, I'm doing all right. I talked with you earlier today as well. We're here to talk about the craps, and I only see the one question that's queued up here, and I don't know that's a question because I think John already answered the question, but I'll put it up there, John, because it's from our good friend Victor. Why haven't you tried the Color Up Molly? And then you put your reply in there I did the Color Up Molly the other day on the aggressive line play bet, but yes, I should have been in the playback series, paycheck series. Sorry.
Yeah, it deserves a full week for sure. It's one of those things where, like, and as we know, the paycheck series, right? To win that daily paycheck, it's got to be something like the Molly. Like what has worked the best has not been anything aggressive. Honestly, it's all these low house edge things. Those are the ones that seem to work the best for that paycheck style play. There's no home runs in there. There's no disposable income in those plays. But boy, those things can win consistently if you're patient, and that's what you're after. So that one deserves to be in there for sure. I'll get it. I will get it in there at some point coming up.
I only caught a few of your shows this previous week, and the one show you actually had a pretty decent roll on. I don't remember which day it was. I know I didn't watch Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. Last week I had on the same day I had a 60 roller in the morning. So I was doing, and I'm playing the Dolt.
I was there for that.
Playing the Dolt strategy. I had a freaking 60 roller. Right. Everybody made like 50K in craps, and I lost like $100 or $1,500. And I'm like, but the strategy survived. And I'm like, screw it, I'm coming back. And I went back in the afternoon to finish the rollout with the 3,000 I had left. 48 roller and 220 rollers later, I still made money on the Don't. That strategy is freaking good, but my God, that was like the best day of my life. And it was in my garage, and nobody was there to see it. But I can prove it. I can 100% prove that I did that, and I it can happen to me. It can happen to you.
Well, that's like my new table here. I've actually had only two good rolls on my shows, either the Midday Mac show or the Durso 8, the Crapsy contestant show. But when I turn the lights off and the camera off and I just come in here and I roll, I've actually had a couple good rolls. So I texted my friend Ed, who's two below me here, and told him what I had done, and then I can't go live that night using the theory about what I had done. You can't replicate it. It was a horrible show. But that's why we practice at home. I mean, whether you got a full table you can roll out on, whether you got a short table you're practicing strategies on, or whether you're using Crapsy, it is what it is. So that's the way it goes. Looks like there's people in there talking about drinks tonight.
A lot of that.
Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hang on one second. Let me get this off the screen so you can be seen, Alfredo. They were talking about what people were drinking. So let me get you off. There you go, Alfredo. Now you can be seen. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, no, I was just going to comment on that. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that your brain is wired, a little differently, and you get used to shooting, talking, inputting, and doing all this other stuff. But really, when you're just truly shooting, it is totally different. And so the more you can get used to, production and doing all that stuff and shooting, it does help you in the live tosses when you're at a casino, because you're used to just the chaoticness of it and nothing really gets to you. But it can still like hamper a little bit of that focus. Any little thing could throw you off.
Nope, you're right.
Do any of you do the commentary in your head at a live table? Do you guys do that like I do? Like at a live table, you toss the dice and go, "Oh, there's a 3, 2, 5," and I'm like talking to myself like I was talking to you all.
No,
like an idiot. Yeah, nobody can hear me.
No, John.
It's in my head, but
No, John. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I don't have the demons in my brain when I'm there.
Just don't ever say what when you're talking to yourself. That's always a sign of something bad happening.
Well, I think I've said a lot of things. I know, John, you were frustrated on the one show this morning, and I said, "Wow, John sounds like me." The other night on my show, you even said, "Wonder what I'm going to break my first stick." So
seriously, that was such a bad day. Oh my goodness.
I have a stick. The stick I'm using currently on the table is cracked. I can't break it.
But the funny thing is, I was pissed off because they hit the point. I was like, I'm playing a don't, and I kept knocking my freaking point off. Like, God damn it, John, can you stop hitting the point? And I'm like, wait a minute, that's a good thing. Like, I wasn't winning.
Brian
but
has a question out there.
Yeah, I got a question. I got it queued up. I'm going to go next. Let me get Born to Roll Dice in here. I'm hoping that's who this is. I may have to switch off the screen real quick, guys, just to make sure that's who it's going to be. There we go. Yeah, we go. We'll welcome Born to Roll Dice coming in the door now.
Dylan was trying to say something.
Yeah, who was? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Dylan.
John, are you still doing the yellow, the one toss and?
No, but I should come back. I was thinking about like my morning shows. Like, what am I going to do to make my morning show more fun? I absolutely am going to start a new YOLO session and do that. Like, start off with the YOLO. That's great. And I'm going to do the dumbass person on Facebook every day too. That's my two new things starting this week.
Yeah, the YOLO's coming back. A lot of people thought that was hilarious, and it was fun. So
I made $100,000 on that damn thing. One roll. I started at $64 and made $100,000 out of it. That was awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you and I, I don't know if you want to tell the folks, but you and I were having a conversation about the what's working and what's not working, and the 80% with when you go 60 when you go across, and I was joking with you about craps being the negative expectation game, and it brought back to memory the War Games movie where the best move is not to play. So I didn't know. I always thought that was comical, and I wanted to, and with that yellow, with the one yellow toss, you've got that 80% there. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Are you going to continue to go back? Are you going to go back to that anytime soon?
I want to. It was fun. The other thing is, I was talking to JB about this myopia movie, and he's been the Fireside Craps guy a few times with me, and it's such a weird, like, math is so freaking weird, right? Like, when you're going across, and I was doing it last week, when you go across, can you go across and live for 5 rolls? Like, it's almost impossible to get 5 rolls when you're across and say it's all, I'm going to win 5 or I'm going to lose it all. And that's, as you saw, right? It's almost impossible. But the YOLO is the same thing. The YOLO, I did like 23 straight rolls where I won the YOLO, right? But what's the difference? What's the difference of me sitting here right now and going, can I roll 23 straight times and get a box number, or 23 straight days, one roll? Is there a mathematical difference to that? The answer is no. There's no mathematical difference. It's pure luck. But in your brain, you can play that game with yourself all day long. And the YOLO feels like it's a smart move. I hate to say it like that, but it feels like it's smart and cool and fun. But it's the same thing as sitting there right now trying to roll 23 straight times. There's no mathematical difference. You just delayed the time between the rolls. So,
Not
but that
including
was a fun series.
Not including the Craps Marathon where you did the YOLO, but didn't you
Yep.
do a real life YOLO on Bubble Craps?
I did. I went from
How high did you get
$6 across to 700 and change. I went from $6 to 700 and change on that one.
Wow.
That was at Planet Hollywood on the Stadium Craps machine. And I basically YOLO'd one time per shooter for 2 straight days. And I was crapping myself. Like I literally was. One time I collected $12 to make my bets even, and I'm like, hey, I made $6 in profit. And my sister-in-law and Zach were with me, and this lady goes up there and you know, she's hucking like this. And I'm like, oh my god, should I do it? And I went all across, and I turned my back and like waited for everybody else to start cheering. Couldn't even watch. I was so stressful, and I was already. It's like I had $6 at risk, but she hit it. I think she hit it. I mean, I made like $310 on that one roll. I'm like, oh my god, we just did it! Like I cashed out that ticket. I'm like, that's it. That paid for the whole trip. Like that paid for everybody's plane fare. I'm like, I'm out of here. It was fun. Stupidly fun that was, yeah. And I've got chips right here. This is my YOLO stack for my hometown local. I do this when I go to my local. I bring this stack of chips back and forth every time. And before I leave, at one point, I go all in on somebody and I YOLO it. So this has been with me now for about 6 trips. So it's up over a couple $100
really
now.
don't,
And I do that.
So do you think that 80% is I want to make sure I understand what you were saying earlier. So the 80% is just a one time. That's just a one-time thing, but then you were saying that you don't see a correlation between you doing that and someone else trying to do. Did you say 5 times in your previous example, or
well? So the frequency, the way the frequency works is this: you have an 80% chance. If you look at the combinations, right? So there's 24 combinations across. There's 6 combinations that beat you. So if you leave your bets out there long enough for them either to pay once or get beat once, so one resolution of those bets, 80% of the time you're going to win.
Right.
That's the number, right? And that's what it's good to get that. That's a good chance for one resolution. But if you're going to say ahead of time, I'm going to put the across, the 160 across, and I'm going to for sure leave it there to get 5 resolutions. And I think I'm going to get 5 positive resolutions. That's when the math fights you. The first time it's 80% to get the one hit, but then it's 80% of 80%. Of 80% down to get to the 5th hit. And that's where you start compounding the negative interest, coming backwards to that thing. It's so hard to get the 5th one in a row. And that's where that betting mentality, I think, becomes a little bit insane. That's bone throw, right? If you can hit 5 box numbers, you're going to win $3 million a year. Well, of course you will. But if you try that, you're going to lose more often than not. You're going to lose 70% of the time. You're going to lose that proposition, because it goes down to 31%, trying to get five resolutions to work out for you. It's so hard, mathematically speaking. And on Friday when I ran it with dice, you saw that I got 1 out of 10. I got 5. One time out of 10. So it's insanely difficult to do it. One shot, maybe, but you start compounding that and saying, I'm willing to lose my entire cross bet to get 5. The casino will take that bet every single day, because now they have the 70% hammer versus you.
Yep.
So then the YOLO. So then your expertise, the YOLO is actually not a bad thing to do. Then
it's not. I mean, it's not. If you look at that one time, I walk up to the table right now and I say I'm going to put my cross bet out for 1 resolution. We'll see what happens. Right? In that moment, you've got 80% chance for one of those bets to beat the 7. Now, if you leave it out there, that's when you start making a mess for yourself. The thing is, if you take it off the table and I go back to the casino in a week and I make the exact same bet, I'm making the exact same bet. Like I'm now on roll 2 of getting 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. It doesn't matter that it's been a week. You follow what I'm saying? Like I'm always having my bet at risk. My initial $64 is at risk, even if I'm on roll 37. 37 straight days at the casino, Ed Robinson rolls me a number. Every time I go out there, I've compounded the negative on that thing. It's not like it's a brand new 80% today. It's always because I've never pulled the money back. It's not a fresh bet. It's the same bet sitting there 37 straight times. So
yeah, I think
no,
the Dr. Dan does that, right? And I think at some point, if you win 5 YOLOs, you should probably cut it in half, and the new YOLO is half of what it was. So you build that bank. Because the problem is you will get PSOs, right? You're going to get some people, a couple, a whole table in a row with them.
Yep.
But they do work quite often.
And I don't even do it on a PSO.
Just like a martingale.
Yeah, when I did it, Alfredo, I didn't do it on. They set the point and my bets are out. I was like literally and when I do it, I'm literally like, okay, this throw. Like I literally pick a random throw and I'm like all out. Let's go. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's zero. No, it's literally it's like it's a complete like. I think this is the one. Here we go. Let's put it out there and see what happens. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. Like that's what makes it so stupid and fun. But like I said, it's $64 that I started with, and if I lose the $64, I just don't care. It's always a good time. It's when I do it at the casino, people know it. They're like, oh God, here he goes again. And it's kind of a fun thing. It becomes one of those goofy little side bets. It's like the marching soldier,
Right.
Well, it's sort of the same thing that the casino sees when people parlay on the hard ways. That one time when someone hits a triple parlay, it's huge, right? It pays off all of those times that you didn't. But can you stay disciplined to do that every time and actually find a shooter that can actually repeat them?
Chris would know. Harris. He almost did it.
Well,
Oh yeah, I did it. I just chickened out on the last level.
well, I'm watching the chat come through in regards to the YOLO and the betting, and I don't know that everybody knows the full history behind it. I think John did a pretty good job of describing it, but some of them don't understand what's going on, and some of them are questioning the math, and some of them are saying a couple things. And I just put up the chat that Brian said that casino's advantage because of one loss of a YOLO equals 5 YOLO hits to recoup. So I get that, and that whole YOLO thing probably could be a topic. But I've had somebody else join us in the Zoom, and I want to say hello to him, get him in there. So Roman, if you want to unmute yourself, we'll bring you in. You're on mute at the moment. We'll bring you into the conversation and welcome you to. I think this is your first time on the show. You're dice to go. You're born to roll dice. Sorry, I had that backwards. How you doing, my friend?
Correct. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for letting me join. Appreciate it. I had a hard time joining, but that wasn't mine. But thanks for letting me kind of join in. But thanks. See everybody. Thanks. Everybody. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Welcome.
I'm just kind of listening.
Well, as you can see, you can get on the show. So if anybody would like to get on the show, the description is in below, and I just did put it up in the chat. I meant to pin it a minute ago, but I didn't do that. But we're going to roll back a few minutes now. About 15 minutes ago, Brian from Hawaii Crapshooters jumped in here, and he has a question that we're going to take now and talk about this. And the question is, if you're halfway down in your bankroll and you get the dice, do you go with an aggressive or conservative strategy? He already answered my question. He said that I would be aggressive, and you're probably right, so I won't put that up there. But Dan follows that up with a comment, says, Brian, that is a good question. And Jen and I agree with Jen, unless you are at a real rush to go home. And then also, Brian puts in there that dice influencers would tend to be aggressive with their faith in their skills. And I don't know if this was... I think this one I pinned up here from Alfredo might have been in reference to the YOLO. So let's go ahead and talk about what Brian's question is. I'll put it up here one more time, and that's the question: if you're halfway down in your bankroll and you get the dice, are you aggressive with yourself or are you conservative? I'm aggressive, but that's just me because I'm getting ready to. If I'm that far down, I'm probably getting ready to leave. That answers Dan's question too. Anybody want to take a stab?
I'll take a quick one. I think absolutely I'd probably do a 60, 6 and 8. versus if I just got there, I'm probably doing either an 18 or a $30 6 and 8. So I'm probably going a little bit aggressive, doing a 60, trying to get regress down to 66 inside and then take it up to where I can because it's paid for. So that's probably what I would do.
All right. Anybody else? Ed, I know how you bet, but if you're having one of those days, you're at the casino like you and I did on Monday and Sunday night and Monday. Are you aggressive in what you bought in for, or how do you play that?
Hard ways, baby. Hard ways. Let's go. Let's roll.
Yeah, I've seen you do the hard ways. Quarter, 50, 75, 100, and then he throws two back-to-back hard tens.
Yeah, we did it. You know, shout out to Alfredo. Alfredo put out a little challenge this afternoon, and I happened to catch it. And it was, what can you do with a $600 bankroll and 30 rolls? And I had my 600 locked up. I had decided I was not going to lose that. I wasn't going to embarrass myself. And I got down to, I think I had 4 rolls left, something like that, 4 or 5 rolls. And I had like maybe $200 to play with. And I ended up winning 700 something from them 5 rolls.
Yep.
I was hopping.
You had an 8 and a hard 8. That was a big.
Yeah, I had a $300. I had a $300 8, and I hopped the hard 8, and I hit it hard. So that's what you do.
It was
that's
nice.
what you do.
All right.
That was it.
Dylan, how about you answer that question?
Well, how I view it is that it depends on if I'm fighting if the trend of the table has changed and it's going against me, then why would I want to put more money out there fighting against it? I'm going to try and be disciplined and stay the course of what's brought me there or what I'm after, or I will go more conservative. So I'm going to be the complete opposite of what the other guys have said, because I don't want to go home. I'd rather try and be a snowflake and then do a little bit of something and regress immediately, one hit regress to keep me there is my immediate reaction to that. I don't want to go too heavy, because if that 7 if the 7's coming hard and strong, then there's no point in just throwing your money away. So there's a balancing act that you've got to weigh, and I just am steady as she goes, or try to keep the same steady level that you're at. You don't have to. There's nothing there that's saying that you going heavy is going to be advantageous for you to do that, and you can get wiped out immediately. So why take that extra risk when you don't have to? That's what's going on in my head. You see what I'm saying? So that's where you've got to. That's where I have to weigh that back and forth. So if I see if I see the table is trending, it's changed, then I'm cautious, and I'm just like, I want to take a step back, or I'm going to put out a little bit higher bet than normal, but not a lot. That way, I can get my one hit and come down, and and enjoy the snowflakeness. So that's I think John will appreciate that.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, for me, it's I'm conservative anyway, for the most part, right? So I don't have this super aggressive out the door style. I think if I'm down to my last $200 and I'm ready to go home, I might go 160 across with it and grab some hard ways and let's just have a roll, right? If I'm done for the day anyway, like this is my last chance, my last, whatever for the night, I may do that. But if I'm there and there's a bunch of us there and I'm going to keep playing for a while longer, and I have the dice, I'm going to go a little light, make sure I can keep playing for a while, right? It just depends on what my goal is, I suppose. And I think, me, I'm very goal oriented, so I don't always have a goal to win, 10K. Sometimes my goal is just to play for a while. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big difference between a Hail Mary and and you're wanting to go home and you're ready to go home, and then do you want to stay and play? So that's
right. And some
the
days
mindset.
it's not your day. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like this wasn't my day, but the dice are coming. I'm
Friday
gonna bug
night,
out.
you might as well
Last
save
shot.
your money.
Yeah. Repeat that.
Friday night, save your money. If it's Sunday morning and you fix to get in the car, lay that shit out there and let's go.
Exactly.
I can't
That's
tell you how
exactly
many times
right.
I've gone all in on my last roll on a Sunday morning. It's been a lot.
I bet it.
I think there's a couple of different ways, right? Like, so I will go in on my roll quite a bit, but I have to already be down to like 20 or 30% in order to do that. I'm not going to do that at 50% just because it just doesn't make sense. I have enough room still to get back. If I'm up around 50%, I typically take my chance actually between 75 of what I bought in for up to 65, because at that point you do need some recovery strategy unless you're going to grind it back, which no one loves grinding. And so I think of it in that way. And if I'm at that point where I need to take a break already, I'm 100% okay with going all in, because I went to the table willing to lose that money anyways as the buy-in. And if it's close to that break, it gives me the out for that. But if it's early in a session, there's absolutely no way that I would do that, because I still want to play. So I want to do very similar strategy to what I normally do and get out of the hand as quickly as possible, so then I can hammer it and try to make money back, which oftentimes happen. And this is what happens, right? You go through a table, things don't work out the way you want initially. You lose a little bit, and then you're tentative on the good hand, even if it's yours or someone else's, and you don't make as much as you would have had you started the session that way. And that's the way craps is. You have to come to terms, and that's where you get better at your press schedules, and they become more automatic. You have less of that variance, but there's always going to be some adjustment to what the table is doing, and that's going to sometimes parse your wins a little bit. You're not going to win quite as much, but it's also going to help you on the other end, where you're not going to quite lose as much, because you're not just going to throw everything out the window and go nuts.
Yeah,
right.
think,
just one thing I would say. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
just one thing I was going to say. Just one thing I was going to say. Just like the kind of what Alfredo was saying is like you have to adjust. I think that a lot of us have a strategy that we want to go in with, but I think that just depends on what the table's doing and what you're doing as a shooter and how you're shooting is going to, kind of change out on what you're going to be doing as far as betting. So you can't go in with a XYZ, and then when you go to the table, it's not happening. You're like, oh, well, you have to have that ability to adjust to what's happening with the actual dice. So.
No, that's true. What I was going to say is that Duracell put it up there a minute ago. Is whether you're if I'm in my backyard, I can leave and go home. If I'm away, then I might do something different. And I would tend to agree with what Alfredo just said. And Duracell actually said it's if you're there for social aspects. But he also came back and said something about qualifying the shooters. Let me read this one. So, question to the strategy: should you be qualified with goals of any playing criteria? Every player is different, which is true. But I think this was coming back to us. I should have read your question before I put it up there, Duracell. Or your comment is that you got the dice. The original question was you got the dice back to you. You're halfway down. Brian's question was what do you do? I think that the only person we didn't hear from was my second sidekick before John showed up, who was going to take the place of John, and that's Chris from Dice Legion. Chris, how about what do you think?
I'm generally pretty conservative when I'm down, looking to grind back. I'm not looking for a home run to get back more often than not. Sometimes it's cost me for sure, but I found that works a little bit better for how I like to play. And it keeps me, a little bit more focused when I'm shooting. When I have bigger bets out there, I tend to, I don't know if it's get nervous or what, but I tend to try to force it, and it never works for me. So I like to just keep doing what I was normally doing. And it, keeps me in that comfort zone. If I'm on a nice roll, obviously I'm pressing. But I mean, Alfredo made a good point with, sometimes that shoulda, coulda, woulda factor, like on the long roll at the Nugget at your last meetup, right? I mean, that was a long roll. I started with a $15 9 and a $15 5 because half the table took half my buy-in before it went to the other side. So, I mean, I started with, $30 on the table. By the end of the roll, I had 600 out there and 1,500 in the rack. So, I can't complain with that. Same thing happened to me Sunday morning when I was shooting. I was down more than half my buy-in, and I literally had a quarter on the pass line, and I grabbed the 6 for $30, nothing else. And I was rolling at those, got some wins, and then I started spreading out, pressing. 30 rolls later, I was back up and in profit, hit my percentage goal, and I was out of there. So it's worked for me. If I went aggressive, would I have made more? Yes, but hindsight's 20/20 on those things.
Yeah, true.
I think part of the spirit of this question, I think, is this. Let's come back to two parts of it, right? Do you play aggressively? What does that even mean? Like, that's the first part of it. Does that mean I'm going to put more money out there?
Though, right?
Well, you got the dice. The question was, you have the dice. You're halfway down because the table sucks, and for whatever reason, you're halfway down. What does aggressive mean? Does that mean I'm going to take the dice and I'm going to go lay it all out there because I think I'm going to do good? Or does aggressive mean I'm going to do my normal thing, but I'm going to press more aggressively and try and turn the small money into something bigger than normal, right? There's two ways to be aggressive, and how do you play it? We all know. Everybody in chat and you all know the table will come to you at some point. It always does. The question is always, are you still there when it comes?
Chips.
Right. And yeah. Right. And so to me, if I'm predisposed to play the horseman, or if I'm predisposed to pay 66 inside and make that shit work, I have enough money to hopefully withstand the crap like I did at the Nugget that night. Right? I withstood that crap. The table came to me. I didn't change how I played it other than I collected twice because I was down from 2 days ago, right? I collected 2 huge regressions to just make sure I pulled back what I came with, what I'd lost earlier. Other than that, I didn't play it any differently than I normally would have. Like, that was a straight up, like Alfredo said, your pressing schedule is your pressing schedule. However you want to do it, you do it. I don't know that I would change how aggressive I get based on how down I am, if that makes sense.
The real part of that
but again,
question,
what are you
it's not asked, is why in the hell are you down half of your bankroll? And what did you do wrong to make you be half of your bankroll down?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the real question. It's not how do you bet once you're halfway down. It's what the hell did you do wrong to get halfway down?
Yeah, you don't want to play from behind. You want to be up already.
Right.
Sometimes
it's easy though. Sometimes that question though is I went $30 6
I was in Biloxi a week ago. I got my ass handed to me by betting the don'ts. And I knew every time I pressed a don't bet, I was going to get killed, and I still did it. So that's the reason my own stupidity was why I was down. I should have gone with the damn numbers that girl was throwing, but everybody else had been going PSO. But something told me, this lady may shoot these lights out, but I'm going to stay with my don'ts. And every time she'd hit a 10, I'd go $50 don't. I'd go $50 odds. She'd hit that 10, I'd go $100 odds. She'd hit that 10, I'd go $200 odds. She hit that 10, I say I quit.
Yeah, don't let one person beat you.
Then you throw 7. So it's your own stupidity. It gets you in that mode. You're too stubborn and too hard-headed to adjust. Is my problem. That's my problem.
Love you, Ed. Said it perfectly. That's why I love watching you and your channel, buddy.
So it's not what you do when you're halfway down. It's why in the hell did you get halfway down?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're going to take a chance when you have some money so that you can lick your wounds if that chance doesn't happen. That's why doing it at that 75 to 65% level still gives you room to grind back. If you do it at the 50% level and you blast and you only have 10% of your buy-in back, it's going to be pretty hard to work your way back from 10%. You can do it, but you're going to need a miracle to happen. And we know unicorns don't poop out rainbows all the time. So.
Oh, yeah. So, I try to use the don'ts as a way to build up a bankroll just so I can have fun when I get the dice. But, that one girl, she kicked my butt And the next week, I'm still looking for it.
Women.
Always blaming it on a woman. And nobody's here to
kick my ass
speak
bad.
tonight.
Oh, Jen.
Yeah.
Isn't Jen
I
out there?
Yeah, Jen's in
She's
the
out
chat,
there.
but she needs to join the show.
Yeah.
And anybody else who wants to join the show, the line is still open. You can join the show. It's not too late. We'd like to have some questions. I've queued up a couple of other ones, including one I'm going to save for the end of the show. We've already rolled past our first hour of this episode 7 of season 2. With us tonight, John from ProCraps, Dialer from Skill and Luck, the creator of the show, Chris from Dice DJ. We've got Roman from Born to Roll Dice, Ed from Roll to Win, Alfredo from Texas Scrap Shooters, and Craig being all quiet down there in the corner from Old Bay Craps. So we've got a couple questions here to get to. Does anybody else want to talk about Brian's question, which was a good question because we talked about it for almost 30 minutes now? Anybody else want to take a stab at it? All right, let's see here. This is a good question, and I imagine Ed may have something to say to this, and Alfredo, you too. You people that have been playing, you people listen to me. You guys have been playing for a while now. This is a question. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have said that. This
You're
comes from
good.
Mike,
You're good. No worries.
The 85 Bears. Don't make me start laughing again, Alfredo. Let's see the question. Has anyone on the panel tried the real 5 count taught by the Dominator and stuck to it and matter for what? If so, what was the result? A TIA. I don't know if that TIA stands for a mini stroke or what the TIA is, but
Thanks in advance.
Thank you in advance.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
I tried it.
Well, mini stroke. There's my medical field coming back from years ago when I was a paramedic in my previous life. In any event, I have not done the 5 count. I know people that do. I've been at Atlantic City at a table and watched some of the students and the instructors come up to the table, and they do the 5 count. I don't have anything to say one way or the other. I don't know if anybody else in the panel has.
Nope. Don't do it.
I'll just say
totally
I've never
random.
done it.
I got so much to say about it, you don't want to know what I got to say about it.
Ed.
It's a 2-hour show, Ed. It's a 2-hour show.
I've done it before, and I'll tell you, you get stuck just as well with come bets out there later into the roll, and so you're going to win the money, lose money on both ends of it. Will you avoid 40 something or 50 something percent of the 55% of the sevens waiting until the 6 roll potentially, and then a come bet,
Doesn't matter.
You're still going to get sevens after it.
Doesn't matter. The math don't care when you put your bet out there. The math will take your money every single freaking time, and you can't qualify a random shooter. Somebody who's doing this cannot be qualified. They suck every single time. They might get lucky, but they're not any good. What are you qualifying? You know? I qualify you.
Outside of
I make sure you're on your point today, but I would, you know what I mean? Like make sure okay, Alfredo's feeling good. Or Ed's feeling good today. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, now we know. But the person doing this and then waiting 5 rolls so they're closer to the 7 and then throwing a bet out there, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I've told Dom that personally. I've told him that. He cursed at me. But I'm like, that's some dangerous shit you're telling people.
If you just
don't
want
be
to
throwing absolutes out
stick
there
around
like
and
you
get it
can't
back to you, the craps man, right? He has like a come, 2 comes after the, or you could do a DP, a come, and then a DC, or another come and then a DC, and then go back to the come if one hits. Something like that's going to stick you around the table. You're not going to lose very much at all. You're not going to get a ton of comps for it, but there are plays that are out there that can help you stay at the table long and get it back to yourself where you're not hurting your bankroll, and you might win 50 here, lose 25 here, so forth.
Yep. So Roman walked off cue there. I've talked to several students that have been in the class and a couple of the instructors, and I don't want to say one way or the other. I personally don't do the 5 count, but I see the reasoning behind why they teach it. I know Ed said there's a lot of things he would like to say. So in a Reader's Digest condensed version, Ed, without picking on anybody, can you really tell us how you feel?
It's a stupid bet.
Tell us how you feel.
You can't get no more stupid than waiting 5 to throw. The dealers freaking hate you. They hate you because you're standing there taking up room. They're not getting any tokes. they hate you, and they don't want to place that damn combat when you get it. They're going to look at you and ask you, do you want odds? And you're going to go, no, I'm doing the 5 count. That's a stupid thing to do.
All right.
I have played with many of the instructors, and none of them do the 5 count unless they're at a table with a student.
Ed, I feel you're holding back.
I am holding back. I'm trying not to.
I'll tell you a secret, Jeff. I've played with many students, and I see a lot of them not do the 5 count. Not only not do the 5 count, they don't even follow the combat schedule. So,
if you want to play strictly math, and you're looking for that 6 toss to be a 7, play the combat, right? But all of a sudden, it's like Alfredo said, you're going to get hung with 3 or 4 of them out there that don't hit, and then you've got like $75 or $100 sitting on combats that never hit, and then it comes a 7. And
they say to go.
John's our mathematician in the group, right? Average length 3 to 8. Is that right?
That's right. You're lucky to get.
And they say to go max odds too, right? So at some point, you're supposed to put max odds out there on your.
I like max odds. I like good odds, but 3 to 8, 3 to 8, 3 to 8. Why would you want to jump in the middle when it's about to throw a 7?
If you believe in the math, that's the worst time to jump in. That's the worst time to jump in if you believe in math.
It's the stupidest thing
right?
you can do. It's the stupidest thing taught in North America right now.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Wow. It sells a lot of books, though. He sold a lot of books.
Can we sell you a slice of pizza?
Yeah.
I'd love to have me a good pendulum toss. So,
man.
Mike, thank you for that question. As you can see, it got a couple of the panelists riled up, if you will. I had to change to put my headsets on because my Bluetooth is messing up again. Technology, you gotta love it.
That might be the wild turkey talking. I'm not sure.
Well, let us know which one it is, because we really want to know how you feel.
But we know the wild turkey hates it. It's stupid.
There's three things in this world that don't lie.
Wild turkey.
Things. No. Bad drunks, small children, and yoga pants.
Boy,
there you go.
Ben is on fire tonight.
Oh, wow.
This is a roll to win Craps Comedy Hour.
I need to go hang out with you, Ed. Oh, my God. This is hilarious.
You'll enjoy it, Roman. You'll enjoy it. He plays very seriously when he's playing, but afterwards, you sit down to have that nightcap. It's everything's off the table.
I'd love to enjoy a glass of brown water with you, Ed.
Lou's question. Tell him it's the latter.
I'll say that again, Craig.
Lou's question. It's the latter. The latter part of his question is much more annoying.
Yeah, I'll put that up here right now because we're talking about it. But so here's Lou's question. It came in when I was looking at the queued question. So which is worth the 5 count or someone buying in the middle of the roll? It's the same thing. I don't mind. I don't mind the buy-in the middle of the roll when I'm shooting. I've told the story 100 times now here on Craps Chat and otherwise. We had a guy buy in on my roll, and Mark and Clay on the end. When the guy finished buying in, they wanted to know why he didn't put any chips in play, and the guy said, "I don't have to." Well. And those two went back and forth with him. And then as they were screaming off, "You can't tell me how to play." And Clay said, "I just did," as he walks away from the table. But I don't get the 5 count. I don't have anything bad to say about it. So that's pretty good. Let's move on to another question. Where'd it go? Here we go. Let's get rid of that one. Let's see. I had a question here. I don't know if Joe from Crapsmaster Journey is still with us. Let me put this one up here and I'll read it. Question, Crapsmaster Journey is short on 13 ways to help the shooter. One is to wait until he makes the point or bust out. If you got new money that is sticking together, do you still try to buy in or you wait in person to the person 7 out? I think that goes along with the previous question. I always wait for the button to be off. I don't think you have to wait for it to be 7 out, but the button off, the proper thing might be to wait for the 7 to come out. But if the button's off, I think most people buy in at that particular moment.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No, that's right. You're right. When the button's off, that's when you need to do it. There's no problem with that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the when the point is made, and that shooter continues because they still have the dice if they made their point. As long as the puck is off, you can buy in. Zero problem with that.
Yeah. Nope, I understand that. And John, did you? I think you answered this question in chat. I didn't pin it. This was the one from Adam. Didn't JB say 50% of all the rolls make it to 6, and 50% of those make it to 12? I don't know what your response was like. I didn't go back and look.
It's close. I mean, if the average shooter is 8.5, then half of them are 4 2/4 or 4 1/4, half of them are 12 1/4. Right? That's the way that the averages work. Right? So you split that mean, you're about 6. That's about right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like 5.5
It's about right.
or 55%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let me go back around here. Where did I go to now? Next. When
was the last time you were at a table where everybody shot 6 though? Right. Like averages.
I've had that before, and those are good. And sometimes you end up losing money because every time you the momentum's there, it never gets over the hump. They stall out at
6
8,
9
rolls sucks. Or 10. Yeah.
6 rolls can suck, but what I'm saying is, how often do you get to a table where the averages actually play out, where you get 36 perfect rolls, or you get 6 people, everybody makes 6. It never
feast
happens.
or famine, man.
The math is good to know. The math is good to know, but you can't drive your life by it. Like I enjoy doing the calculations and shit, but honest to God, you can't run your life that way. You can't run your bankroll that way. Just go play slots where you know the math. The math is computer controlled, and you know what it's going to be, right? I don't know. I get
maybe you'll have better look at the Keno, sir.
Oh fuck no! Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. No way. I don't do anything electronic.
You got the over, John.
How long did I last? I lasted an hour and 12 minutes. Okay.
You were over.
Sorry.
That's all right. John,
Damn it.
Chris didn't put the line out today.
It was over 30 minutes.
It was 30 minutes.
I know a guy that his main play was he would never bet on a random until he saw 2 box numbers. Okay, so he had
smart move.
Two box numbers before he'd place a bet, and usually that was a 6 and 8. But
most people don't wait a full orbit, Ed, and I think that's part of the problem, right?
No.
Sit at the table, wait an orbit.
He would sit there and wait. I mean, if they threw two horns after they set the point, he still wouldn't place a bet until they threw that second box number. That would save him some money, but he also on occasion missed out on a few nice presses. But that was his way of staying out and qualifying that person. And it's not a bad thing to do, I don't think. I mean, I got a lot of respect for that guy. But I also knew another guy who was a master player, and had the fortune to play with him 3 times. And, if he saw 2 7s, his immediate play was 110 inside. If he saw 2 7s, he'd play 110 inside, get 1 hit, and all down.
There you
go. And it worked a lot. I mean, it worked a lot. And the key was, as soon as he got that 1 hit, he was down, or 1 toss, and he was down. Aggravates the dealers a little bit, but
that's a YOLO. That's a YOLO after a 7, right? Or after a couple 7s.
It's the missed art of all down to felt. If you get 2 or 3 hits, there's no faster way to make up money. And I know it may seem agonizing if you see a long roll after it, but to go down to felt, especially if the table's been choppy, you could easily make up a couple hundred, in very short order, or even 1,000.
Nobody has the ball. Nobody has the balls to do that anymore. The entire YouTube existence is teaching people how not to do that. Exactly. Yeah, the FOMO's real. Look, I took a strategy that was like 15-0 and fucked it up last week by trying to get some right side play in it because I got FOMO on that 60 roller. Right? Am I lying? Am I lying? I said, "Oh, that sucked, man. I lost. I missed out on a 60 roller. Let's add some right side to it." What did I do? I treaded water all week and fought myself all week, and I was like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever done." Like, you just gotta not. I don't know. Sorry,
but if you can teach yourself discipline, I had a live a couple weeks ago, and Whalen came on. He was the last shooter, and Dylan was on when it happened. And Whalen just laid the 4 and did the place 10, and he just did like an inside for 110, and he did one hit, shut it down, shut the inside down, and then wait till it sevened out. Then he did it again, opened it up, hit another box number, shut the inside down. He was very disciplined. And Dylan, if you remember, he made about $400 to $600.
Yes,
As the
sir.
last shooter on time.
Yeah,
Yes,
I saw
sir.
that strategy that he had. I actually worked that too, and it worked quite well. I was even on a really bad run, and I was like, there has to be a lot more to this because I shouldn't be winning that much there. And sure enough, I was. So I love waiting.
The off button is the most underutilized and most important piece of equipment on the craps table.
Yep.
Yep. Let me put this up here for John. This is your buddy Ken from Ken Knows Gambling. Says, yes, John, if you win, play any damn way you want to and screw everyone else. So I kind of, we all know how Ken feels from time to time. Real quick, let me run up here to the corner and see if Chris has got his microphone working. I think he was trying to chime in. Chris, can you say something?
Is this thing on?
Oh yeah, super loud too. I gotta adjust it on my side.
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No,
My normal headset broke.
All right. Yeah. I had to switch to my plugged in headsets because for some reason my Bluetooth gets screwed up on my computer here. Anyway, so let's go back and see if there's another question in here that I had queued up. I don't think that there was. If anybody out there has a question for the panel or you want to talk about it tonight, we're an hour and 15 minutes into the show. We're going to go to about 11 o'clock tonight, and hopefully we'll have another after show. I couldn't make the last after show. I just left everything up for them to run, but I know a couple of them were here for several hours afterwards. But if you want to join the show tonight, please come join us and ask any question you want or talk about anything you want to that's craps related, or as you can hear from time to time, it's not craps related. So put a Q in the question, if you will. And if you have you want to make a statement or something to one of the panelists, just kind of like put their initials or something, and we'll pin it up there and get it out. Dylan, the way the format of this show has gone, I know I've got a question up here I'm saving for the end that was asked by Joe from Crapsmaster Journey, and also Nemo has asked a question about productions of shows. And I know from time to time we talk about a production of the show, but we're here to talk about craps. And Nemo's question was, and for some reason it's not in my queue, has anybody noticed any difference in quality of productions? This show has evolved into what it's evolved into. John and I have talked about new templates and so forth for the show. But is this about what you expected for this type of show, Dylan?
To a degree, yeah. I wanted the roundtable thing, but I also wanted to go. I was wanting it to go back and forth with I wanted to try to evolve in talking about strategies and the good, the bad, the ugly, and get everybody's 2 cents on different types of strategies and light side, skill 66, whatever, just different things, and that's something that we haven't really evolved into yet, but I think that'll be coming. So these open forum questions from the audience and stuff is really nice. I like that, which is part of what I thought was going to happen. But I thought we would have different topics for subsections, like section A, section B, and what have you. But but I'm still enjoying this. This is fantastic. I mean, this is basically, what I thought of when I was thinking of the show, more than 80% of it. So, I'm very happy with it.
Well, we'd like anybody to come on to the show. It doesn't have to be the usuals like you, me, and John and Chris.
Oh, right.
But we would like more people come on. But we like to talk about craps. I think everybody that's on this panel here tonight has a grave interest in making sure we get proper content that's out there and not some of the wild, I'm going to use the word wild ass stuff that we see from time to time. We want to make sure that we're educating. And from my standpoint, I like to entertain because there's so many people that are out there. We've added 6. Arnell's not here. I don't know if he's still on his cruise or not, but Arnell from Dice Grinders keeps the list going. We text back and forth throughout the month as we see new channels come up. We had 6 new channels that popped up, craps related only, in the last 10 days. So there's quite a few of them out there. And if you guys are watching, come join us. We'd love to have you in the community, whether you agree with our philosophy or not, and whether you're whether you like somebody else that's not in our community. We won't mention any initials, but there was a talk about that the other day, and I think that we embrace them and we want to talk to them. John did it on his show the other day and said he's actually looking forward to talking to some people in the upcoming months and to get them on the show. And so with that said, come join us. I see somebody just came on here, and Bob, I need you to send me an email at jeff@midatlanticcraps.com before I can let you into the show. So Bob, if you would, you got to send me the email, and I have to make sure you're legitimate because we don't want to see any porn crap on the screen tonight. Nobody wants to see that.
Jeff and Dylan,
not here.
I have an idea, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
No, I have an idea, if you don't mind, about the evolution of this particular show. So I think when you first started it, Dylan was saying, "Hey, this could be like a sports talk type of thing," right? And I listen to nothing but talk radio, sports talk, politics. That's all I listen to. And I love the fact that sports radio is all about what's our team going to do? Who should we trade for? Why do we win or lose last game? Whatever. Right? That's what makes sports talk awesome. And I think that starting like you did tonight with the Friday Night Fight replay, I think that once we get into having the Craps League, where we're doing some team play and maybe more than 6 people watch those things, right? We get like it's actually followed like an event. This can become a lot of hey, let's talk about what we just saw last week, like the move that so and so made, or the move that team made, or wow, I never thought about doing that. It comes down to that whole, we all can't watch Alfredo every night. We all can't watch Jeff every afternoon because both you guys think that I, don't have a day job and I can't watch your schedule. But seriously, we can't watch everything all the time. So a lot of things happen without us watching it. But the things we can do together, and then this show becomes kind of a review or a recap or a wow, that was awesome. I think that would be really cool. And then have the person on say, Ed, what were you thinking, Ed, when you made that move? Or, dude, Ed, that was fantastic. What made you go that way? That's what I want to get to. I think this show could do a lot of that once we're more cohesive with what's going on live. And I think the Craps League could help with that. I think Friday Night Fights has got potential for it. I think there's a ton we could do besides just answer questions, which is great. I love doing this. But I think that was your vision all along, Dylan, was let's talk about what's happening out there. And I think having things to talk about, which is a community live event that happened, would be wickedly cool. I think that's an evolution that we could probably take at some point. Maybe when we get, as we grow and we have more people doing the live events, that'd be awesome.
Ditto. You said it well. Yep.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
hey, what's with all of the freaking crazy good rolls today? Every single channel that I tuned into had multiple long rolls, whether it was starting the morning with Hawaii crap shooters, whether it was later in the afternoon. I had some crazy rolls. Ed, put out his video. He had some great rolls. It was like everyone was shooting really well today. Very somewhat untypical because sometimes we've had it where everyone was shooting bad in a day. Very, very, very crazy.
Yeah, I had a small.
Well, like I don't know if you caught it at the very beginning, but I said it's my daughter's 16th birthday, so she, that might have had just a small part to do with it.
I'm going to the casino next year on May 7th. No doubt about it.
All right. Let me go back and just said he was holding a question. Yeah, I am holding a question, Joe. Let me see your question that I'm holding. Did I already put that up there? I think I put this one up here already. Didn't I put this one up here?
Yes.
Yeah, I did put that one up there, Joe. I'm actually holding a
I think
question from
Jim just asked the question just a little earlier, Badger.
Yeah, I'm holding a question from Crapsmaster Journey that kind of goes along with the theory of behind us as content providers and what we mean by something. I'll get to that question as we wrap things up because I usually it takes about 20 to 25 minutes for the panel to finish up their comments, and this one sort of will go with that. So, Joe, if you're still here with us, I'm going to get to that question. And Alfredo, you said Jim asked a question.
Yeah, Jim Badger, not too long ago, maybe about
right.
20 or so people ago.
Yeah, let me
just before you said Joe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the question, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this we kind of talked about already. We talked about it last week. There it is. Thank you, Alfredo, for pointing that out. What's everybody's thoughts on team play, and we actually discussed that quite a bit last show. I don't specifically remember which direction we talked about. We said we would bring it back up in another episode. I know that there are a couple channels talked about team play. I know that Craig from Old Bay, he and Churro did a video, a live, that they were playing bankroll. But team play, I think Alfredo said it best last time, that you got to know who you're playing with and what role everybody's going to play, and somebody has to understand when they have to get out of the hand. But let's talk about it. I'll put it back up there.
I think we've had this talk before, right? Is it team play? Is it teamwork, or is it corporation play? Like, that's two totally different ways to approach this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think for the live stuff we talked about, doing a team play league would be combined bankroll. But I think in the casino, I don't know that I know of a lot of people who are doing the corporation thing, but I think that's a big opportunity.
Yeah, it works. You have to have a lot of trust, but there's ones where you can have a larger corporation where you have maybe 5 or 6 people. I think someone else said that, like, they or Lou or something like that routinely had a group that they would pull money together and bet, and so maybe you don't have everyone betting. You just have 2 different styles or something like that to help mitigate the damage, and the other one just go to town if things are really well.
Yeah, Kevin
I've never
says
done
that
that.
would be a good segment for either your show or Coffee and Craps, John, or this show. But I think John makes a good point too. Are we doing it from a competitiveness team play on a Friday Night Fight style show, or are we? And when Crapsy comes out with the tournament play, are we going to do that, or are we talking really like Ed, Alfredo, and me and John going into the casino, and we're all playing different ways? We pool our money. When it's all done, we split it up. I know in poker that's called collusion. I don't really know there's anything they can do about it in craps besides ban you from not coming back. But I don't think that would ever happen.
Unless you win big, then they might think about it.
Well, if somebody's winning big, the other people are probably losing a little bit, but not big time.
Yeah.
The winning big wouldn't matter because you're staying within their table limits, right? I mean, the one drawback of it is if you have too many people in the group, some people are not going to get the comps because they're not going to be betting. So the comps are going to go to those people that are placing the bets. So you would have to rotate that around to make sure that people still got their comps, but then you can get people to tiers much, much quicker because they're going to be placing much larger bets.
Good point. He's rephrasing the question. I'm waiting for it to populate in my software that I use to put it up here. Let's put this question up here next. Let me rephrase the question. How many of you have gone in and played as a team in a casino? I have one time with one other person, and it didn't turn out well. But then again, we can't cover all angles from dark, light, hybrid, props, so forth and so on. So that's my answer. Anybody else want to take? I saw you raise your hand, Alfredo.
I have many times, and the one drawback to this is finding someone. I think John had said it last time, that mirrors your play style, because at first, even Uncle Mel and I would butt heads on 4s and 10s, and then he saw the math and he saw that we were losing quite a bit from not being on the 4s and 10s, where he finally has incorporated, or we would incorporate that. And I've also succeeded that at times when the table's going crappy, let's not get the 4s and 10s. And so long as you have someone that will, you have some sort of compromise there, I think you're good. But there can be contention, especially if someone's more press happy than the other, and you can't find a median ground.
But Alfredo, are you are you going into it playing the same?
No, we're combining a bankroll and playing off of one bet, and sometimes betting heavier, sometimes betting lighter. What it means is that we're taking a lot less of the loss, and we're really taking advantage of the wins because we're a little bit stronger on the press schedule than we would be if we were just individually being there.
Okay. Because there's other ways to play the team play, right? You can.
Yep.
You can
Absolutely. You can have someone play dark
is,
and someone play light, or someone play hybrid and someone play light, something like that.
Right, or split up the table, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah,
that's how you've been successful with team play is you're going in playing the same bets.
Yeah, so I've done it both ways. I've done the other corporation, and it's also been successful. Making sure that the person that is the conservative person, that has to be a really disciplined player. You're asking the aggressive player to be undisciplined, so there's no issue there. But the disciplined player cannot miss collecting or not miss the points that they should be doing in order to make sure that they're recovering.
All right.
It's a tough game.
Yeah, it's like one guy has to be
tough game to
almost
play it by yourself. It's a tough game to play it as a group.
Yeah.
I've played it both ways. I played it where everybody plays their own bankroll. I played it where you've had a share. But I tell you, one of the most interesting things I ever saw was two guys who played their own bank or shared bankrolls at the Strat, and they played it on the Crappest. One guy had 2 through 6, other guy had 8 through 12. That's how they broke it up. And they each had their own free will to bet however they wanted to bet according to how the roll was going. And they made a lot of money by only playing their own numbers, the numbers they were assigned to play. The guy playing 2 through 6, he was on stick left 1. The guy playing 8 through 12, he was down there straight out or in the turn. And they made a lot of money. While we were all there playing as well, kind of as a group. And that's how I learned how what they were doing, just talking to them, getting to know them. And they were old par guys. And they pulled it up and divided the table in half, and each one made their own bets according to how the hand was going. And that's probably a good way to do it if you're going to do it that way. I'm really conservative.
When I hear that, I have to ask you, what's the difference? What's the difference between? And I won't even talk crapless. What's the difference of me playing the 4, 5, and 6, and you playing the 8, 9, and 10? There's no difference in me having double the bankroll and playing them all. Like there's no advantage to team play there, other than you're just paying attention less.
Well, it depends on what's rolling, right? I mean, if I'm playing 8, 9, and 10, you're playing the bottom of the box, then I can pull my bets way down because they're just not hitting, and you can go to town with yours. Instead of both of us chasing the same numbers.
If it was me myself playing the whole thing, I would do the same. I could do the same thing. I could make the 4, 5, and 6 a little lower, make the 6, 8, 9, and 10. There's no difference there. That's what I'm saying. Team play to me feels like you got to be playing. If you're going to play the right side, you play it from different angles. Like a come better and a place better playing together is an interesting team play concept because you're going to win on different rhythm and at different times. But you're still both playing the right side. You're not just splitting up the table. You're actually betting differently from that side.
Well,
and like a hybrid guy, I can see, a hybrid guy's job is to win 66 times 3 and go the hell home. He's there to make everybody else safe and not actually win any money. Like that's if you approach a 3-player team like that, where one guy is not supposed to win, he's just supposed to win enough money to let the other guys, if they're going to be more aggressive, they don't kill us.
It's a tough game, and it's hard to hold a group together. I'll be honest with you. It's hard to hold a group together.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I think it would be so much. That's why I want to do it virtually. I want us to do like a team play league to try it with fake money. We'll probably still fight like cats and dogs. You know what I mean? It'll still be contentious.
At at some point, you win real big, and then they want to dissolve the corporation because now they want to just go and do it solo, just like what you're saying, John. Right? That inevitably happens, and I've had that happen a couple of times when I did actual sort of corporation type team play, and it's okay, right? But the idea is, if we got there and we made that much money doing it, wouldn't we have that much more power to keep it going? But then the greed effect comes into play, right? Like now you start to see the dollars.
Ego's a bitch, right? Yeah. Ego is a bitch. Greed's a bitch. It's human. Humans are going to do human things, right? I'm afraid that's what it comes down to. Ultimately, people suck. That's my.
For me, I'm just like, hey, I didn't have to have the corporation in the first place. I did it to try to partner with someone to try to mitigate some of the crazy swings, and it worked to the degree to where it went really well. And then, we had huge stacks, and just like, well, let's split it up and go our even ways. I'm like, okay, well, it's fun while it lasted.
I do love the concept, John, of one person doing place bets and the other doing a come bet, and then if they get the come bet travels, then they're going. I'm not saying they're going max odds, but they're going 3 times odds or something. So where the single player, has to do double the work to get to that point, if they want to keep their place bet up and keep the come bet with odds, but to have a team play where you're both trying to go for the same. And you're able to like really explode on a like a 6 and 8, and really take advantage of it. I think it's that sounds like fun.
It'd be fun virtually. Like I said, I think making a league and having us make a little bit of a group thing, we try it out. Sure, right? Are you ready to give me half of your paycheck in a month and let's go to WinStar?
You're probably going to find that some opposites work well together, right? Like someone that thinks totally differently, because they actually, it's the yin and the yang, right? They balance each other out.
Well, Alfredo, you bring up a
It's a hard thing to do.
You bring up a good point, Alfredo, that on a couple shows this past week or so, there's been talk about, is the right way to press across, is the right way to press when the point is hit, do you press the sister number, how do you do that? And people play differently. I've switched over the past year to become a trend better, and one YouTuber this past week said trend betting was really stupid, but it's actually made me a better player, I feel. And after you qualify the shooter, it is the way to go. So you make a good point that different strokes for different folks. And if the team isn't on board with their role, know your role, as The Rock would say, then I think that a partnership, and let me see, somebody just put that up here. So what did Duracell put it up here? The only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership. So if everybody's not on board with what their role is, I see that failing, if you will. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, let me put my 2 cents in real quick. If you think about the MIT blackjack players that kind of went in, and I know that's totally different, but if you talk and the people that you're playing with, it becomes pretty profitable if you know what you're doing, if you're going to do a corporation. I never played with quite crap shooters, but I did this last time in March, and when you're playing with people who know how to throw dice and know how to play, like that can be pretty profitable, and I was.
Yeah, I actually played with them. Not played with them. I was there for their filming at stations the very last day. I don't know if you were there or not, Roman. I didn't see you. If you did, I apologize for not introducing myself. But you're right. I mean, team play would have to be well thought out, and maybe even the analytic part of probably John and me want to see it on paper and make sure everybody knows.
Well, that'd be interesting to do, like a Windcraps thing, Jeff. Would be fun to do that. Like put like those. We should have a debate about that. Like what strategies would work for a 3-person team, that what you want to see. And let me just Windcraps those things up and run 1,000 rolls against. Okay, well, come place and don't, or 2 don'ts and let's see it. I mean, it'd be kind of fun. I don't know. I run out of things to think about sometimes. You know what I mean? Like that's why I don't sleep, because this is the kind of shit that goes in my brain when I'm laying in bed.
So I'll give you a story. So I sat right next to Uncle Mel, right, and we had it back and forth a little bit before about the 4s and 10s. We finally got to a point to where we could do a corporation right next to each other. He'll just throw like $20 in the rack right in front of me and say, "You just do you. I know you love to hop. I know you love to do the other thing." And every single time that rack goes from 20 to 50 to 100 and something, and he knows that I'm doing me. I'm doing my trend betting. I'm trying to make extra money outside of our place bets and follow those trends. And very rarely is that rack ever going down. It's usually almost always increasing by a little bit, or at least staying pretty close to even, because I won't continue to hop perpetually. If I've gotten 2 wins, I'll wait for the next trend.
I mean, so the team play, we've hit on that question.
Yes.
I'm not sure what.
And 1-0, baby. There you go. Sorry, I got the cracking game over here.
I saw Victor put something in the chat a little while ago, and I knew I made that too big a minute ago. And he wanted to know. Sorry, guys, I was trying to make that one text that's super long. Anything longer than 200 characters doesn't really display well here. The Victor puts us in, what is a straw poll on rally hats? So I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about.
Victor, I got my own damn hat.
Because he had made, look at Ed, because he had made that comment earlier about hats. I don't know if he was talking about me or not, but Ed's got a rally hat there.
There's my rally hat, baby.
Let's go, Ed. Let's go.
That's a hard way hat right there.
That is a hard way hat.
Working to get me one of them's.
There you go.
To win website.
One of these.
No, I'm kidding.
One of those hats.
Yeah. Anybody want to comment on what they do to rally? I think that goes back to the question we were talking about. You know, do you really turn the hat around? Like they were talking about John earlier, that Ken put in there something about only 10 years olds wear their hat backwards. I think you might have missed that one, John.
I'm allowed. I'm a coach and I'm a catcher. My kid's a catcher. I get special permission.
Yeah,
but he's right.
I'm basically 10, so I can wear a hat backwards.
Yeah,
especially if it's got the thing in the back. That's a bad look right there. You got to have an actual fitted hat.
Yeah,
to wear
actually,
backwards.
every time I've ever seen Chris, he's always had the hat on backwards. Every time in the casino.
No way, you never wear a fitted backwards.
Fitted hat,
absolutely
yeah,
not. No, man, you
You're
got
not doing your King Dice imitation where you're wearing a square bill there.
I can't do
straight across, right?
I am not. I'm not that cool. I was gonna just give Ken shit. I was gonna do this and wear it a little cockeyed, like wear it up, but I can't pull that off either.
Only squares.
You can get $2.99 slice. $2.99 slice.
We'll go buy some pizza from that guy.
I can't wait. I can't wait to have my pizza with him. That's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait.
All right, guys. Remember, we welcome everybody in this on this show, regardless of your point of view. So I've talked to Sammy on the phone. So I think John, during your show the other day, I even put it in a comment that he's been nice to me. He has this philosophy about a few people in the Craps Nation side of it. Not all of us sitting here are members of Craps Nation. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a private Skype group that dates back to the early 2010s. And it's got maybe about 185 people in it. But there's good conversation that goes on, just like there is in Discord. There's just so many ways to find information, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. There's so many places to find it that it's really hard to keep up on that. But we welcome everybody here, and I'd like to see him come on the show, and hopefully we treat him with courtesy. With that said, let me get off my high horse here, because I know how a couple people on this show feel about him. So,
hey, he was saying that he knows how to teach people some other oral skills or something like that, right?
I think that's a different show altogether.
Did you say squirrel skills?
Oral skills.
Yeah. All right, let's get the porn on.
Go look at the video.
I've already stopped two of them from coming on tonight, so hopefully we won't get them on. Well, look, guys, it's going on 10:44 Eastern time. I know that's 7:44 for you, John, out there on the West Coast. But it usually takes us about a half hour for this segment of the show. We'll welcome everybody to stick on if you want to. I know some of you have to work in the morning, but let's go ahead and let's go with this question that was asked earlier in the show by Joe from Craps Master Journey, and I'll put it up here. Question. Everyone say your outro statement and explain what it means by it. So this is going to take us a few minutes to get through this, and we've never done this before, so we'll do this on this show. So I'll start out. Mine is play safe, be smart. It's on the back of my hats. If you ever get one of my hats, it's on the back of that. And the play safe is, the be smart is just be smart about the way you play, and to be safe is from where I come from, public safety. I have 45 years of service in public safety, retired, and I kind of just mix the two together, and that's my thing. So let's start at the top. Dylan, do you have anything that you say on your videos when you go out, other than "See you later, alligator"?
Not really. The only thing one of my taglines is "There's no guarantees." But so, I like that one. I use that one a lot, but I don't have anything consistent that
That's a good one.
that I say. But that is a good one. I mean, there's the no guarantee line is accurate.
All right, and Dylan, while you got the floor, is there anything you'd like to say as we go around through the panel here? I don't see any more questions coming in, so by the time we get done with this segment, if we have more questions, we'll go back to it. I see one here from Jen that I'm going to queue up, and we'll come to that when it gets to Ed. Anything that you have that you'd like to talk about before I go to you, before we end the show?
Just that. No, I've everything's been pretty good. I'm very happy with everything that's going on. The community's great, so I think everything's going on a great even keel like it's supposed to. So I'm happy with everybody, and hopefully everybody's happy with me. So you can't get any better than that, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm happy with you, but I think from time to time Joy's not happy with you, but we'll let that go, and we'll switch on over here to Chris. Chris, I like yours, little Dejin in you. Everyone has a little Dejin in you. Can you, it's on your new felt. Can't wait for to see it. Can you tell us a little bit about where that came from and why you use it?
It came from, I was sitting playing one day, and playing my normal way, and then I just went full degen. And that involves just dumping the rail and going after it. Then I was just thinking, you can play one way, you can play another way, however you want to play. But at some point, we all have a little devil on the shoulder that's telling us we got to do something else, right? So that's where the saying, everyone has a little degen in them, because that devil in the game of craps would be your degeneracy side, and it flowed because my name was Dice Degen. So I was like, everyone's got a little degen in them, and some people have taken it to mean other things. Not going to go there, but
So we're not all related to you.
We all have a little.
We just went there. In us. You just went there. That's.
Yep.
All right, can't John, unhear that now. God.
Yeah, John. Typically, I always hear from you when you're doing your shows. It's like John out or whatever. But what is yours?
I don't have a tagline. I feel terrible. I don't have one. I make it up every time.
You did the rack the two blacks, right? Rack the blacks.
Well, rack the black is kind of what I say a lot during the show. I rack the black a lot during the show. It's on my chip. It's like a saying, but I never end my show that way. I end my show by saying,
"God bless
love y'all. God bless every one of you. God bless y'all." That's what I say every time. And it's just, I don't know. I just feel like that's what I want to say. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the one chance I have to say it, and I say it every day. But it's not like a pithy craps thing. It's just something that's just what I want to say. So.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. I feel like I've let y'all down now.
Yep. No. Roman, I know your channel's relatively new. You're growing. I've seen you communicated with a few people in chat, asking them to like and subscribe, and we want everybody to support everybody in this community. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about your channel, and do you have an outro that you use before you say goodbye on a live or on a video?
Right. Thanks very much, Jeff. Appreciate it. The channel is growing. I'm trying to do as much as I can as far as live rolls and different uploads that I do in regards to strategies and different dice rolls, because I do the dice influence thing. So if you don't, that's fine. But subscribe, like, appreciate it. Thanks for letting me having me on your show. And I think that the tagline that I have is stack them up and then racking them up. So I'm gonna have that on my next poker chip that I'm gonna send out to everybody. So I'll be sending those out pretty soon if you haven't got one. But yes, thank you much for having me on the show. Appreciate it, and look forward to the future.
All right, we'll go on over to Alfredo. I like the one that you typically say, but I think you've said a couple things. I like the chips in the rack don't come back thing, but where did that come from?
Yeah, it's just years of playing, man. Like the longer time that you stay at the table, that's why you have to have scheduled breaks and get away. I think when I had my dad, that I would meet him there every time in Vegas, and I treat him out and whatever. The great thing is, once I did get disciplined, is that I would go to the movies, go for lunch, go for dinner, take him out to a show, and what helped is that I knew that time was coming, so I always knew that I had an out. And if the longer you leave the chips in the rack, they're just not going to they're going to find their way onto the table. So you have to find a way to get to the cage, because chips at the cage are back in your wallet, and that's the only way that you're going to realize money and make it tangible that it's real. So chips in the rack, they don't come back. Realize your wage hit the cage. That's the new one I added at the end, and it worked with power on that.
Yep, no, I like that. And real quick, can you tell us about your challenge that Ed evidently completed today? I have not seen either one of the videos.
Yeah, it's just 30 rolls, $600, no rebuys. So you might have to play a little tentatively, but you can certainly take a chance once you start to get some profit. And how much can you get in profit in 30 rolls? And you have to get through all 30. So if you want to play less aggressive after you've racked up some money, you can certainly do so. But so I don't know. It's just a little challenge, very much like if you're going to go through the 30 roll challenge over at QC, giving you a little bit more money to see if you can make more. Certainly, you can try to go to the moon, but you may not survive it if you leave it all out there.
Okay. Well,
the other thing is hit 700 subscribers. So thank you all, and looking forward, hopefully next 2.5 months or so, probably to get to 1,000. So we're certainly on track. We're gaining between about 3 and 5 people a day, and pretty humbled by all that. So thank you guys.
Yep, you'll get there. Yep, it sometimes it takes time, but you'll get there. So, Craig, did I skip you yet? I'm saving Ed for last because I've got a question for him as well. Did I already get to you, Craig?
No.
Okay, well, let's skip you and go on to. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Old Spice. Old Spice is nice.
No, I originally thought everybody, when they made a YouTube channel, had to come up with themed stuff, and the reason I called myself Old Bay Crafts was we have a family crab soup recipe that was handed down to my father. My father handed it down to me, and I've been making it for my family, my extended family, cousins and all, for about 4 or 5 years now. So that's what exactly just, I said, okay, Old Bay crabs. Like I want to do it, infuse the whole crab soup thing. So, on the Old Bay crab symbol, there's a little bit of a crab pot. And right next to it, it started out with season your bets. And then it's turned into season your play. But both have the same concept, which is don't be afraid to put a little extra on your place bets. I guess for the last 3 months, because I haven't been playing that long, just about a year. I used to do the 66 inside and would just go up a unit, very, very slowly. And now, whether I start 66 inside or 110 inside, as soon as a 6 or 8 hit, I take it right to 42, and then I go right to 90. Like, season your play, so season your bets. Put a little bit extra out there on your bets, because I go for the short roll.
All right, so Nemo just popped in here, but I'm going to go to Ed. Ed, we have a question here first coming from Jen. She wants to know, and I think you've talked about this on a couple of your shows, but she wants to know what your typical bankroll is for your Biloxi trips. And although you just don't play in Biloxi exclusively, but what is your starting bankroll?
Well, it's kind of hard to break that down. So is it buy-in she's talking about, or is she talking about total trip bankroll, right?
Typical bankroll for Biloxi. Yeah, I took it buy-in, but I think she actually meant bankroll.
Yeah, I typically buy anywhere from $500 to $600 on a table, unless it's $25 crapless. Then I'll go up to maybe $1,200. I generally try to play on $2,000 a day. That's kind of, I break mine down to $2,000 a day, regardless if I'm in Biloxi or if I'm in Las Vegas or wherever. And I haven't been to Vegas in a year and a half, so it's all been Biloxi for me. So I keep my bankroll as fairly modest. I just try to keep it at that $2,000 level, and I try not. The worst thing you can do is go into tomorrow's envelope. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, Adam actually asked you to talk about both bankroll and buy-in, but I think you kind of handled it since his chat came in lagging with YouTube here, the way that it is. But yeah, I do when I travel, like when I came down with you and when I come down in June, I do a daily thing, and I didn't stick to it when I was with you in February. As you know, on Tuesday I was into Thursday's money, but fortunately we got back Wednesday night and Thursday, so that was a savior for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said,
and I don't have an outro.
Well, yes you do. Yes you do.
You got to roll to win. Come on, Ed. You got to roll to win, right?
Play like you practice. Practice.
Play like you practice.
Exactly.
Everybody knows it.
Practice like you practice. Go roll and win, right?
There you go.
Yeah, and roll tide.
What does that entail? All right, I practiced for years, and I continue to practice today. I probably threw 2.5, 3 hours down here today, waiting on your asses to show up for this show. So,
well, not all of us can take a Sunday like that. Some of us have to work in our own studio and do other things. That Ed.
Yeah, I know you got. But what's practice? I take it serious. I mean, if you don't practice, look, if you're not a DI, then you don't need to practice because you're not that damn good anyway, right? I mean, you're just a random roller, right? Well, you can practice strategy, but you don't know if it's going to work or not because everybody's going to be throwing random, and you don't know whether they're going to be throwing 8-12s or they're going to be throwing 8-4s. You don't have a clue.
You don't know what you're going to roll?
Huh?
Well, you got to practice.
You don't know what you're going to roll, right?
Your calls, don't you?
I don't know
Don't
what
you
I'm going to roll.
your bet calls?
Say what, John?
I say I practice against random all the time. I mean, because you got to practice your bets. You got to know like what's my next bet? What's my next call? What's my next
ain't hard to place a don't pass bet. I mean, I ain't got to practice that shit.
No. I mean, when I'm on the box,
I can do a don't pass and a don't come, and it's like the same thing on every freaking body around the table. It's hard to practice. $25 don't pass, $25 don't come. I mean, it don't change. It don't change.
I also practice racking up. I practice racking up all those beautiful green chips from all you guys that throw me all those nice sevens. Right, I practice making them look nice in my rack because I get them.
Except for when they come on the come out roll and then you go cry.
Oh my God! No, but I do think people should practice. Random rollers should practice their bets. Know what your next press is going to be. If you need $3 for your next whatever, have it ready.
Don't bet on a random, John. Don't bet on them.
Say the words. Say the words.
Almighty, dude.
I agree with John a little bit because you got it.
Bet a 6, 7, 8 and be done with it. Know what you're going to play. Be done with it. Or bet a don't pass and a don't come and be done with it. You ain't got to sit there and invent some kind of thing like I left my airplane luggage sitting on an airport runway strategy. You ain't got to name it some kind of crazy bullshit like that. Just say I better don't pass and I don't come.
My luggage, I am absolutely
no.
Stop.
That's all you got.
I am 100% making a strategy called my luggage
made by, some kind of.
Oh my God.
You ain't got to.
I have to make.
Over. I mean, this stuff been playing for years. This game's been
I
played
have to
forever.
invent one.
You ain't got to come
No,
up
no,
with
no,
some
no.
kind of freaking bullshit
I'm
name.
gonna play.
Play
All
it.
right, let's not talk over everybody. John, you want to
We
say
are
something?
doing
Go
it.
ahead.
I am absolutely making a strategy now. I'm gonna do the dumbest shit I can think of, and it's gonna be called the Ed Robinson suitcase on the tarmac bullshit.
That's my
That's gonna be
favorite
the name of the
strategy.
video.
That's my
That's
favorite strategy.
absolutely coming out
Suitcase
next
on the
week.
tarmac. I left my suitcase on the tarmac.
Hey,
I'm
Ed,
gonna bet it don't pass and don't come, but I'm gonna
That's
call
gonna
it
be great.
suitcase on the tarmac.
Oh my God, that's gonna be
hey,
great.
Ed, here's something. The Mike, the 85 Bears said your new outro should be stupid,
Oh,
stupid,
shit.
stupid. Earlier in the
It
show,
should
we were
be,
talking
because I
about.
am
Oh
stupid.
my God, that's
I
awesome.
am
No,
stupid.
that's not what
Jesus.
he was. It's not what he was indicating. But man, that was certainly something. I want to go over here and say something to Buckeye who joined us. I thought I had pinned your message here, Buckeye. But
Ed,
yeah, you got to the
you're
show
funny.
late. If you go back to the opening, Buckeye, you'll see that we actually played the end of round one from the Friday night fights about at the minute and 12 about the 12-minute mark into the show. You'll see us play that out the 2.5 minutes of the end of round one from your Friday night fights. But welcome, my friend. The show is almost over with. If somebody would like to join us in the after show, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be here. My dog's been circling the chair here, so I have to take her out. It's been raining on the East Coast, so I have to put, I guess, my raincoat on when I go out. But join the show. It's in the link. I'll post the link one more time before we get out of here. Everybody's laughing. They've got good comments about what you said there, Ed. You've got everybody in the floor laughing in the chat. And Adam just pinned a question in here. Adam, favorite moment at craft table share. That would take us too long to do that, Adam. If you'd have put that in there earlier in the show, we probably could have covered that question. Well, maybe we'll save that for next week or 2 weeks, because that's the next thing that somebody's going to ask. Typically, Dylan always does. So, oh my gosh! Ed had tears coming out of my eyes here earlier. So when
Oh my God.
he's got riled up. So our next show, we're skipping Mother's Day, which is next week, and we'll be back on May 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We start the show at 8:55 to get people here. So Adam, remember your question. I'll try to remember it. Matter of fact, I'll put it up here, and we'll come back to that on the next show. And if you want to, we can talk about it in the after show, guys. If you want to get in the after show, I think I put the link for the after show, so I'm gonna pin it one more time in here. And this time, how about I do pin it to the? That's what I said I was going to do. How about I do pin it into the chat there? There you go. It's pinned now. That's the link to get into the show. Here, the show's almost over with. I finally did that. But I want to thank everybody that came on today to the show. For joining us today. Once again, you've made season 2, episode 7 a really great show. The reason why I'm trying to keep it to 2 hours is because sometimes it does drag on quite a bit. As we get viewers in and viewers out, we'd like to have everybody participate. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. With that said, Dylan, I'm almost afraid to say something, but I got to go to you. As the creator of the show, any words of wisdoms, 30-second Reader's Digest condensed version, that's all you get. And guys, when you come to the after show, it takes me a few minutes to get you in. Don't hang up. Dylan, anything else?
Just thank you very much for being here, Jeff. It's great tag team effort that we do, and can't no one there's no I in team, right? So I appreciate you all y'all. So thank you very much. That's all I got. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. And I'm going to put this up here. This is my good buddy Frank, who keeps you straight. He's from Brigantine. He says, "Let's see your hand, Jeff." And I don't know about the hands, but there's my hands. I'm not exactly sure what you see. Frank gives me a hard time. I owe him 2 T-shirts and a hat, and probably dinner by now, because every time we go to show up, the times get mixed up there. But Frank will meet up at some point. Guys, everybody here, hang on to there. It'll take us a couple seconds to get out. If you want to join the after show, you can come in. I think Roman popped back out now. I've got people waiting. So until 2 weeks from now, guys, come join us in the after show if you want to hear some things. I can't say what they're going to be, but anyway, it gets really wild in there at times. So we'll see you on the next one, May 22nd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Till then, guys, be safe, play smart.